year. The key question with Larry Bird, they were in a hard cap in the NBA. And when you look at this and bringing it back home, Adam Silver, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Breanna Stewart, who are the superstars of the WNBA, but especially for Caitlin because she has such brand marketing deals, probably averaging $30 to $50 million a year. The Bird rights gives a team an opportunity to re-sign its best player and not be restricted by the...
Larry Bird, the three-time NBA champion and Hall of Famer, has always been known for letting his actions speak louder than his words. During his playing days, his calm stare and fearless confidence could silence a crowd, but these days he rarely gives interviews or appears in public. That is why so many people were stunned when, during a live broadcast, Bird unexpectedly walked up to Caitlin Clark, took the microphone, and delivered a powerful message that instantly became one of the biggest talking points in sports. His unexpected appearance and Caitlin Clark's reaction quickly captured the attention of fans everywhere. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. It only takes a second, it's completely free, and it really helps support our work. It's surprising that nearly 83% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet, so if you haven't already, now is the perfect time. Thank you for your support, and now let's get back to the video.
And put an understanding out, because with Caitlin and what the players and the collective bargaining agreement are negotiating, folks, I'm wondering if it's the best fit for the top players of the WNBA. CBA agreements, the collective bargaining agreement is coming up. They're going to have an intense meeting for All-Star Weekend. And I wanted to bring this up for Caitlin Clark and the Larry Bird rights rule. Okay? And we'll start from a revenue perspective as Caitlin leads the league in revenue. Where am I going with this? It wouldn't make sense to have a contract for Caitlin.
To understand why this moment mattered so much, you have to see how it unfolded. Let's go back to what was supposed to be an ordinary post-game interview. After finishing with 28 points, 11 assists, and a clutch three-pointer that lifted the Indiana Fever to a hard-fought comeback win, Caitlin Clark was answering questions about her leadership and her relationships with teammates. Everything seemed routine until the crowd suddenly grew much louder. Then, out of the tunnel came Indiana basketball legend Larry Bird. The Hall of Famer walked straight toward the broadcast table and fixed his eyes on Caitlin. At first, she didn't notice him, continuing to smile and answer questions as usual. Then the interview stopped, the cameras pulled back, and the entire arena rose to its feet. Caitlin looked up and froze, not because she was afraid, but because she couldn't believe Larry Bird was standing in front of her. The atmosphere instantly changed. Everyone knew something special was happening. Nothing about the moment appeared planned or rehearsed. Bird calmly stepped forward, gently took the microphone from Caitlin's hand, turned toward the cameras, and delivered words that people would remember for years. In a steady voice, he said, "I've been watching this game for a long time, and I haven't seen anything like this since the 1980s. She's the real deal. I haven't seen a tougher player, and I'm not going to stand by while people try to tear her down." After a brief moment of complete silence, the arena exploded with cheers. Larry Bird wasn't simply complimenting Caitlin's performance. He was publicly defending her and making it clear where he stood. As his words echoed through the arena, Caitlin covered her face, shook her head in disbelief, and struggled to hold back her emotions. Caitlin Clark became emotional and broke down in tears on live television. Not because she was overwhelmed, but because the praise was coming from someone who truly understood what greatness looks like. Larry Bird, one of the biggest names in Indiana basketball history, had publicly recognized her impact. But he wasn't finished. He continued by saying, "She doesn't need protection. She deserves respect. If you can't give her that, then you're not really watching the game." You're letting your own opinions get in the way. It was classic Larry Bird, honest, direct, and completely unfiltered. After speaking, he handed the microphone back to Caitlyn, who wiped away her tears while the interviewer stepped aside, realizing the moment had become much bigger than a normal post-game interview. From the day Caitlyn entered the WNBA, every performance, every comment, and every move had been closely examined. She constantly faced criticism while carrying enormous attention, yet she never backed down. Larry Bird recognized that determination because he knew what it was like to be misunderstood for being different. He saw more than a superstar. He saw a fierce competitor who played to win, spoke her mind, and stayed true to herself instead of trying to please everyone. His public support wasn't just a compliment, it was a powerful statement. At a time when athletes are often expected to carefully manage every word they say, Caitlyn's authenticity helped her stand out, even as it made her a target for criticism. Some called her overrated, while others criticized her for different reasons. But none of that mattered to Bird. All he cared about was basketball. And in his eyes, Caitlyn Clark was a true competitor who had earned her place. His message was clear. She belonged among the game's best. As soon as the interview ended, social media exploded. And within minutes, both Larry Bird and Caitlyn Clark were trending as fans across the sports world reacted to the unforgettable moment. Former NBA players quickly shared their reactions, and basketball legends voiced their support across social media. One post summed up the mood by saying, "If Larry Bird says she's the real deal, then she's the real deal." Because Bird rarely speaks publicly. His words carried enormous weight, and many believed the WNBA had reached a turning point. Even some of Caitlyn Clark's earlier critics became noticeably quieter after his comments. The league responded almost immediately by sharing clips of the moment across its official platforms, where the video reportedly attracted nearly 20 million views within hours. Sponsors took notice. The Indiana Fever sold out their next 5 home games, and Nike released a special legend and rookie crossover campaign. A limited edition jersey featuring Larry Bird's signature and Caitlyn Clark's number reportedly sold out online in just 4 minutes. More importantly, the conversation around Caitlyn began to change. The constant criticism slowed, analysts stopped focusing on every small mistake, and many of her harshest critics backed away after Bird's public endorsement. Caitlyn didn't need to defend herself because Larry Bird had already said what millions of fans were thinking. His message became much bigger than a memorable quote. It was a powerful statement that encouraged people to let Caitlyn play, continue developing, and stop treating extraordinary talent like something to criticize. In the following game, she looked more relaxed and confident than ever, smiling often and taking over the fourth quarter with 14 points while playing with energy and determination. Later, when reporters asked about Bird's surprise appearance, Caitlyn admitted with emotion, "I never expected it. But if Larry Bird believes I belong, maybe it's time I stop doubting myself." Her journey wasn't about asking for special treatment. It was about earning the same respect and equal recognition that every great player deserves. At long last, someone with the respect, credibility, and influence to make the basketball world stop and listen gave Caitlyn Clark the recognition many believed she had earned. This moment will be remembered as one of the greatest passing of the torch moments in basketball history. Larry Bird wasn't simply defending a young player. He was standing up for the future of the game itself, and Caitlyn Clark accepted that responsibility with confidence and determination. That brings this remarkable story to a close, but it is one basketball fans will be talking about for years. Take a moment to think about what we just witnessed. This wasn't just another headline, another viral clip, or another post-game interview that briefly dominated social media before fading away. It became something much bigger. In today's sports world, every performance is analyzed, every mistake is magnified, and every athlete faces constant judgment. Social media moves faster than ever, and the loudest opinions often receive the most attention. But every once in a while, someone with true experience and lasting credibility steps forward and changes the conversation. Larry Bird is one of those rare voices. He didn't have to speak. He could have remained silent, watched everything from a distance, and stayed out of the discussion. His legacy was already secure, and he had absolutely nothing left to prove. Yet after seeing the pressure, criticism, and unrealistic expectations placed on Caitlin Clark, he chose to publicly support her. People listen when Larry Bird speaks because every word carries decades of basketball knowledge, experience, and credibility. He understands what greatness looks like because he lived it. He knows what it feels like to perform under relentless pressure and have every game judged by millions of people. That is why his message carried so much meaning. This wasn't simply an NBA legend complimenting a rising star. It was one of the greatest competitors the game has ever seen, recognizing another competitor and declaring that Caitlin Clark belongs at the highest level. For Caitlin, that kind of endorsement meant more than any scoring record or award. Since entering the WNBA, she has lived under constant scrutiny. Every arena has been packed, every game has drawn national attention, and every shot, pass, celebration, and interview has become part of a larger conversation. Some praised her talent, while others questioned the attention she received. Many admired her confidence, while others criticized it. No matter what she did, she remained at the center of the conversation. Through it all, Caitlin never stopped competing, improving, or proving herself. That is exactly what Larry Bird recognized. His message reminded the basketball world that exceptional talent deserves respect instead of constant criticism. In one unforgettable moment, a basketball icon recognized the next generation and confirmed what so many fans already believed. Caitlin Clark belongs among the very best, and that is why this moment will remain one of the most memorable stories in basketball for years to come.